What's up, everybody? My name is Kason. Welcome back to the WDL. This is Season 3, Week 6 of the Rundall Division. We've got some awesome best of threes for you guys to get into today. And let's take a look at the standings before we jump into them. We have SurfTaco, our Season 1 Grand Champion, coach of Raegen against the Machine with 15 points, undefeated in their series record, only dropping one single game to Alkor to this point. ReadyPlayerWill of the Pandas with 12 points, only series lost is to SurfTaco, and Coppola of the Holy Divers, only series loss is to ReadyPlayerWill, so they are making up our top three. Alkor of the Diminishing returns with 9 points, Catrah of Sandrock with 8, Koryu 87 of S.E.E.S with 7, and same with JesusLBL of the Strawhats with 7 as well. ThunderMage of Shadow Wizard Money Gang and Daewn of Primordial Inquisition both with 6 points, and IceHeart of Stag Party with 1. We have a bunch of teams here that are pushing for one of those playoff spots. It should be entertaining to get into, and let's jump into the matches. Game number 1 here of Daewn, coach of Primordial Inquisition versus ReadyPlayerWill, coach of the Pandas. And ReadyPlayerWill is running that double fire evasion team with Phoebe as a quickener and haster from the background. We've seen this team pop off before multiple times. It's been very, very good so far, but that is an elemental counter coming out from Daewn, or at least partially, with a couple of water units and evasion units themselves. Revitalize coming up from Chunak, and Farm coming out. She's got, what does she go for? Sign of Safeguarding, so this is that guaranteed hit nullification. Nasha, I will say, might take a decent amount of damage from these two fire units, but the other two water units looking to be poised for this battle here. My big thing here is there are 4 evasion units as the Jealous Wrath comes out from Nasha. And honestly, this might come down to who has the accuracy, who has the dodges, because it is evasion versus evasion. Obviously, the elemental advantage goes to Daewn here, but Constricting Cleave immediately gets rid of Nasha, and this is now down to a 3v2. Can these two water units follow up here and take out this Sweetheart Eldira? Chunak should be able to get in range. He's going to go for a maiming slash, but it gets dodged by both Pissarro and Sweetheart Eldira, and that is a rough start for Daewn here. And when it's evasion versus evasion, you have to wonder what the hit chances are from these units, because you never really know. But the King Bradley TMR coming up from Farm, she is 2 spaces away, tells me that she might not have a way to hit Eldira. Unless she has absolutely no ranged abilities on, she should be able to go for something there. That is actually kind of startling here. Falcon Slash is going to take out the Farm, and this Fire Evasion squad is kind of handling the Water Evasion squad at this moment. Toxic Assault, though, does get dodged from Chunak, so like I said, it's never over till it's over when it's evasion versus evasion. But Chunak has tons of AP here. Can he find a kill on Sweetheart Eldira? He should be able to go behind her for this. He does exactly that. Blade of the Secret Waltz. Actually, no, this goes to Pissarro and only lands 1 of the 3 hits. That is brutal. Does land the debuff, but that is not enough damage. That honestly might have killed or gotten close to if it hit all 3, but it only hits 1 of the 3. Toxic Assault from the Sweetheart Eldira. Poison does not land, but lands a chunk of damage. Pissarro only needs to hit once. He's going to do it, and that is a Game 1 victory for the Fire Evasion squad from the Pandas. Game number 2 here, guys, and it's Primordial Inquisition versus the Pandas again. Is there an answer for this Fire Evasion team? Subterfuge comes out from the Sweetheart Eldira. Hate down on her as well now to make everybody target the Pissarro. Indomitable Spirit comes out, so he has Courage online. King Bradley, does he have the accuracy? He is a very hard carry. If he has the accuracy, he could easily land basically a double kill. We'll have to find out here. Poise comes out, so he gets that Courage and physical damage up. I don't imagine Lorenzo is going to have the accuracy to deal with these units, but I'm hoping to be proven wrong. We'll have to see here. Naya's going to go next, and she is sitting here thinking for quite a long while. She's chilling to channel a spell. So is it something like a Protect versus these physical units? Yes, it is. So maybe hoping that Lorenzo can actually be a makeshift tank for Daewn. As Keenblade comes out, he is going to charge forward, and he has Bowtie. That is only 2 movement. So the Keenblade is important because he needs his CT up at least decently high to make sure that he gets forward during this fight. And Naya's going to go for something else here. I'm not entirely sure what. Guard Haste onto the Pissarro, so he is nice and speedy. And Protect on herself, so maybe she can live a hit. Strike of Ruin comes out for 4,400. Tanked decently well by the Lorenzo. Can he take like a limit break from Sweetheart Eldira? That is exactly what's going to happen, but I think this hits Naya also, and Naya has to live this, or else it is literally Bradley versus 3 pretty much. Okay, they both live it. That is major, as the CT down from the limit break, but CT up from Wizard Staff kind of counteract each other, and now Naya is going to go next after Bradley, but Calculated Rend hits 1 of 2 hits on both units, so 50% so far. Naya needs to land a massive heal, though, or this is still really big trouble here for Daewn. If she lands a big heal, though, this actually could be pretty good. What is going to happen here? Naya's taking her sweet time to get this heal off, and I will say that her casting time looks like to be pretty rough at this moment, as almost everybody is going to take a turn before her. Phoebe is going to walk up and start channeling a spell. What is she going to go for? Sweetheart Eldira goes for Toxic Assault on Bradley, lands the poison as well. I don't think that poison will kill in 1 tick. I think it'll take 2 at least, as the Kiriga finally lands onto the Naya. Does Bradley die from 1 hit of poison, and can he hit these 2 evasion units? Calculated Rend goes off. It lands 1 of the 2 hits on this Sweetheart Eldira, and this team is just too damn dodgy, and I'm completely wrong. The poison is actually enough damage to kill, and if you guys don't know, poison goes through courage. So that Toxic Assault from Sweetheart Eldira, honestly, if there is an MVP of Ready Player Will's team all season, it is the Sweetheart Eldira. It's been incredibly impressive, but GG's to both players. Next up, we've got Coppola versus Koryu, Holy Divers versus S.E.E.S. And Koryu has been on a bit of a tear as of late these last couple weeks, but he is running into an absolute force that is Coppola and the Holy Divers. This is a team we've seen before. Looks like Starlight Elena, Nivlu, and Marial versus a couple of Earth units coming out from Koryu. So this is Winter Venera, Luel, and Agrius. So a full UR comp coming out from the other side, as Marial is going to go King Bradley TMR, get that haste up, and move forward. Nivlu, what is she going for here, though? Is this a haste or a quicken? She does have that Time Mage sub, as Earth and Invocation comes out from Luel. Agrius is going to go next with a King Bradley TMR of her own. She says, you can do it, I can do it better. Here comes the quicken from Nivlu. So trying to get that tank way out in front to make sure you don't catch any sort of AoE or anything like that. Mind Crusher coming out from Marial, though. She actually doesn't move that far forward. Coppola's Nivlu could actually be in range of some AoE, but Dispel Spread, 4,200 damage, and removes the haste from Agrius, so that TMR not doing a whole lot. Northwayne Strike Destruction, not landing any sort of statuses or anything like that, which is what Agrius is known for. Marial tanks it up nicely, and Zombie TMR on Elena. She's going to be hard to kill without any sort of courage or re-raise removal. Resist Magic coming out from the Winter Venera. So actually going back to buff, she apparently could not find damage onto the Elena, and my question is the accuracy just not there? Is that the reason? As Marial picks up a kill on the tank, here comes Luel, though. She can be a fairly accurate unit. What's she going to go for? Law of Geoabsorption. It is dodged by Elena, though. That evasion from Coppola looking so on point here, as I imagine this is another quicken from Nivlu. It's exactly that. Marial going to go next. What does she have? Winter Venera is actually a somewhat dodgy unit as well. Does she go for a disable or something, or does she go for damage? She goes for Mind Crusher. 4,800 onto the Luel is very impressive. Drops the Spirit as if Elena needed any help here. Lux Overflow going to land a kill with 9,600 damage, and this looks like a bit of a one-sided affair coming out from game 1 for Coppola. The bells from Winter Venera tells me she just does not have a way to hit these evasion units, as Dispel Spread's going to land for 3,500. And man, oh man, this is a rough one for Koryu in game number 1. Starlight Elena going to go with Lux Overflow. She's going to seal the deal here, and we are headed to game 2. Game number 2 here. What does Koryu have for an answer against Coppola's team? The last game was not particularly close. It looked like the accuracy was not there. Do they have better accuracy or guaranteed hits on the other side this time? Looks like I've tempered my resolve coming out from the Elena. It should again be a quicken from Nivlu. I believe this is the same turn order setup. The sides did flip, so I do apologize, guys. This is Coppola's team on the right, not as the graphics show it on the screen here. Koryu on the left side here. Velas should be going for an AoE haste on both of him and the Amnulus. But we've seen this team from Koryu pop off before. This is basically the infinite immortal Amnulus build, something very similar to what you can do with Skahal. The turn Aerie Seal coming out for 6,400 is impressive damage, and this is already looking better, I think, than the game before. As Mariel's going to walk forward, she's going to go Mind Crusher, land that Spirit down, getting Amnulus, I believe, below that 70% threshold. is a big deal, but does Velis heal her up to full? Yes, he does. So snow healing. So she is below the 70% and low enough to catch a heal, which is important because it's basically keeping her courage alive no matter what. Water Gut Perpetuator, 3,500 from the Severo. And now Amulet, can she kill Mariel here? Yes, she can. Removes the haste, removes her life, and is now a 3v2 in Koryu's favor. So this is a much better response coming out from Koryu in game 2. But Starlight Elena has 3 lives, and we've seen her pull off some crazy stuff before. What is the accuracy like? That is my question. The Quicken from Niblu actually lands onto Elena as she is going to one-shot the Amulet, but again, she gets that courage, and Velis is going to keep her healthy. And the only way that I think that Coppola can win this is if Koryu does not have the accuracy. So we'll have to see. This is the limit break. This is Advent. I don't remember if this is a 100% hit. It very well could be. It probably is. No, it is not. It misses and drops the spirit. So she's going to be taking more damage, but it does not land. And that tells me that there are probably no guaranteed hits from Amulet's kit. I actually don't know that. I've never played her before. Spider Rain comes out, though. This is going to deal a good amount of damage to the 2 water units. That one-shots the Severo. He actually didn't even have Courage online, unfortunately. So he is dead in 1 hit. Velis should be going for another heal, but this is going to take out Amulet's first life. The heal not going off quick enough. And I'm sorry, she did not get re-raise. I don't know why I thought she had re-raise up, but she certainly did not. And unfortunately, Velis is now in a 1v2. He's going to limit break. This is a guaranteed hit. This probably procs Elena's courage, but I don't think he's going to be able to hit this Elena at all going forward, and he needs to hit 2 more times. So his work is cut out for him. As Elena is quickened up, she should be able to walk forward and deal damage. Crystal Shine Bright is going to do just that. It's going to deal a hell of a lot of damage, and that is a victory for Coppola and Holy Divers. Next up to bat, we've got SurfTaco versus Catrah. SurfTaco of Raegen against the Machine, and Catrah of Sandrock. As SurfTaco's rocking that WDL in his name, you'll love to see it. The Veil of Woe coming out from Sephiroth, getting that barrier and the AP restore. Catrah running a couple of lightning missile units, potentially. Maybe a full missile composition, actually, now that I look for it. Murmur, Whisper, and Sephiroth. So a couple of sisters going on here along with the Sephiroth. We'll have to see how this plays out. So Soldier's Honor coming out from the cloud. AP recovery on critical hit. As I think that is the Setia TMR coming out from Fina here. So very, very interesting. It looks like Sephiroth is actually out of buffs at this moment, as the fast cast is going to catch on to the Whisper, but she is actually behind Sephiroth. She's trailing behind a little bit here. Murmur should be able to go for a haste on a Sephiroth this time. So get him nice and speedy. What does Fina go for? It's a Sparkle Shower for 3,400 on the Murmur. Not bad damage. What can Frederica follow up with? Can she get a missile chain going? Barrage hits on all 3. Murmur's getting fairly low here. She's down to about 40% health, but this Telluric Fury is going to absolutely murder Frederica. She is not long for this world, as Cloud is going to go next here. What can he follow up with? This is a limit break, so this is going to get rid of that barrier. This should actually deal a decent chunk to Sephiroth here. 7k is more than a decent chunk. And now the question is, can Fina clean up Sephiroth before Murmur gets a heal off? I think that's the big question here. Sephiroth got 124 AP. He's going to go Hell's Gate onto both. Fina's going to drop, and now Cloud is in a 1v3. If he can kill Sephiroth, maybe he has a chance with an extra reflex or 2. But man, this is going to be hard to overcome. Knight's Blessing from the Murmur, only going to heal herself. So Cloud should be able to kill Sephiroth here with a triple slash. He's going to do just that. Chains down the Murmur quite a bit here. The Whisper, I'm sorry, not Murmur. Confusing the sisters, as Protection Break kills the Cloud. And that is a game 1 victory for Raegen against the Machine. Second game here, and SurfTaco's team has been so impressive all season. Only one team has taken a single game from him. Can Catrah be the second to do it? Veil of Woe coming out with the AP Restore and the barrier for Sephiroth. And it looks like the same comp from SurfTaco, just like last time. Positioning changes a little different, though, off to the side rather than the middle. And this looks like a light versus dark battle. Sephiroth and Whisper versus Violet and Stern Wing of Destiny. Getting that CT up on critical hit buff from Violet. Making this Stern Wing of Destiny already better with his CT stuff. And here comes the Reawakening buff. So he's got his Re-Raise, gives him CT when he comes back to life. The one thing, though, is Sephiroth has Re-Raise removal in his kit. So it'll be interesting to see. Balo's going to get that Keen Blade off. What does Violet go for next? Going to go for Revitalize to get that AP Restore. And what is the light resistance like from SurfTaco's team and the dark resistance coming out from Catrah? I imagine Catrah probably building up a good amount of Dark Resist here as Blade of Overcoming comes out. What does Sephiroth go for here? He's going to go for Spirit Breaker. 9,000 onto the stern. That is major. Crucially, does not remove his re-raise, though, which could end up being a big deal. Whisper going to chain up, though. Can she land a kill? Oh, certainly she can. 6,200 damage is a ton of damage. But here comes the re-raise. This should allow him to jump Sephiroth in the turn order, I think. Yes, he does. So it's going to be Balo next. Taunting Blade. Going to start off a nice little slash chain for Catrah's Stern, who might be able to go for like a limit break. He's going to. I think this actually finds all three. I thought this would only be onto 2 of the units, but it should find all 3. How much damage is his stew? Not nearly as much as I think Catrah would have liked to see, but Violet, can you follow up with something here? Yes, she can. Vorpal Blade onto both the units. Not nearly enough. I think it's just an insane amount of AoE res coming out from Sephiroth here, as he's going to limit break. This is going to remove Sephiroth and do a ton of damage to Balo. And Sephiroth is just an absolute monster. Balo's going to catch a ton of damage here. Whisper going to go again, and this haste is really, really huge because it's going to make sure that Sephiroth goes before Violet anyway. So even if Violet had a chance to pull something off here, a Shadow Flare is going to come out. 8,600 damage is going to seal the deal. And this team from SurfTaco continues to be insanely impressive. GG. All right, here we have the Strawhats versus the Stag party. It looks like a couple of fire units along with the Zazan versus double Wind Missile and Little Leela. So Summer Jaden not quite catching his 140 in global yet. He's going to have it in JP, but not yet here. Firm Resolve going to be up on the heel, as well as a couple AoE buffs for the team. That guaranteed hit nullification coming out from Yuffie right away. Jesus making sure to try and get that online, as making sure those guaranteed hits can't do anything from the 2 win units, as they do have those in their kit, and so does Little Leela. So Heart of Flutter coming out from the Little Leela, as the AP restore is now on Summer Jaden. Zazan going to go in the middle of the team to get that light and dark resistance up. So expecting some sort of light or dark tech, potentially from Sweetheart, maybe expecting that Dark Fina or the Jaden or something like that. But responded well to by IceHeart or Sweetheart, whichever she prefers. Firing Order coming out, getting that missile attack resist piercing rate. So this is the Summer Jaden TMR. Not something we see all the time, but is a very nice tech if you expect missile resistance on the other side. And honestly, guys, I think this fight is just going to come down to what is the accuracy on IceHeart's team. Can they build up enough versus somebody like Yuffie? Or can they buy out enough time for these guaranteed hit nullifications to go away? Yuffie's already taken a turn or two. As the disable goes, hold on a second. I forgot that Summer Jaden even had that in his kit. Doesn't land it, but he might be able to go for another one. As proof goes the ninja for the Yuffie. She's going to jump both Lucia and Hio in the turn order, getting a Blinding Trinity off, landing the kill on Little Leela. And I think there's only 1 turn left of the guaranteed hit nullification. So Lucia's going to go next, and she's going to do that. She's going to go for quadruple shot here, because I think she's going to try and get rid of that 1-hit barrier, as she will dodge the sharpshoot no matter what for this next turn. Zazan going to go March of the Juggernaut here, though. And it looks like they are up against it here for IceHeart's team. Can she go for somebody else? She's going to. So she's going to go for Sadistic Dance. I believe this is on Hio. That is a ton of damage. Holy cow, that is over 9k worth of damage. Proc's Courage. Did it land a Disable? I'm actually not sure. That Limit Break can land a couple of really nice status effects. It did not land it, but it did land the Immobilized. Splash Hour is going to chain up, and IceHeart has a chance here if they can live this hit. Art of War does kill Lucia, but the guaranteed hit nullification should be gone now. Summer Jaden, can you manage to take her out? He does have a guaranteed hit in his kit. Midsummer Sniper is guaranteed. This is what it is, but that 100% barrier is still online. He needs to live another hit, and he needs to one-shot with the Midsummer Sniper. Can he do it? Zazan is in the back line. Does he still have hate down? If he does, that means he will go for Yuffie. Summer Jaden, who's he go for? No, he goes for Splash Shower. He goes for the AoE. I think the only way he had in this fight... Oh my god, he lives another hit. Wait a second. Oh, but it's not going to matter. Yuffie's going to lap. Yuffie's going to lap, get the standard attack, and find the kill. Honestly, I think if Summer Jaden was smart enough to go for the Midsummer Sniper, he probably doesn't one-shot. Maybe he does. He did a ton of damage in that fight when he actually was able to land hits, so who knows. If he one-shot, I think he would have won that fight. But man, oh man, Yuffie is just an absolute beast, and we are heading to a game 2. heading into game 2, guys, and it looks like Jesus is running the exact same team back, and so is IceHeart. And I hope I didn't sound biased at the end of that last fight, but IceHeart hasn't gotten a series win yet, so obviously I'm pulling for a little bit. That being said, Jesus is an absolutely amazing person, so I want him to win as well. So maybe both of them can win. I don't think that's going to happen, though. Beast Roar comes out from the heel on the entire team, and this looks like the exact same turn rotation coming out from Jesus. So what is the adjustment coming up from IceHeart? What has she changed up? Sun's out, Guns out, comes out from the Summer Jaden. As Little Leela's going to go next, she's going to start channeling a spell. I think this is different. What is different here, though? Because she went for Heart of Flutter last time. She did not do it this time, I don't think. So momentum from the Lucia, the King Bradley TMR. And this is a Protect. So I think IceHeart is hoping that if Little Leela can just soak like one more hit, that she might have a chance. And I think she's thinking that Protect will make it so that Leela take 3 turns to die instead of 2. So we'll have to see if this pays off. So Revitalize coming up from the Hio, getting that AP up. King Bradley TMR on the Yuffie. So she is hasted up now. And she is very, very scary. Here she comes with her second turn, though. Fiery Banishment, 6,800. That removes Protect. So maybe IceHeart hoping to make sure she uses that ability. Man, that is really tricky, though. Here comes the Disable. Does it land this time? No, it doesn't. I don't know if Yuffie has innate Disable Resist or Jesus has the Rune, but it does not land. Lucia going to go, though, just going for Sharpshooting Stance, so not even trying the quadruple shot. Might have turned that off even, but she is kind of in range for an AoE here, as this should be, I believe, the last turn for the guaranteed hits from Yuffie. But Curata from Little Leela, this is a nice adjustment. But does she find a massive AoE? Yes, she does, and the blind is there. That is brutal. But these 3 units need the guaranteed hits to hit anyway. Can they find them? Summer Jaden, does he go for the Yuffie, or does he go for Hio? Gonna go for Midsummer Sniper, so this will remove the haste, removes the barrier. How much Lucia can do with like a sharpshoot, because that is the only ability that's going to land. 11,000 is enough. And hold on a second, guys. IceHeart might have a chance here. Soulblade comes out, 9k onto the Little Leela, but these are good adjustments. But they are going to have to use the guaranteed hits to land damage, though, I think. Being blinded, I don't think they're going to be able to go for anything else. Midsummer Sniper is 7k, but I think Heal has Courage online, and they don't have a way to dispel it. Sharpshoot is going to bring him down to 1 health. But he would have to get, like, his preemptive counter, and I don't think he's going to land that. Soulblade goes off. Lucia... does she have it in the bag? Can she sharpshoot this Hio, become unblinded, and kill Zazan? She has a possibility here. If she sharpshoots, becomes unblinded, and limit breaks Zazan, she could win this, because she could potentially disable him. Oh my gosh, she's gonna go for it, isn't she? Nope, she goes for the sharpshoot. Is Zazan that evasive? Or no, she can only do that because he's behind the wall. Zazan's gonna go for a Killer Cross, and that is the game. Zazan comes out triumphant. Honestly, fantastic adjustments by IceHeart and Stag Party. Those were really smart moves, allowing them to have a chance in that fight. If that wall isn't there, I think Lucia goes for Limit Break, and if Disable lands, she wins. So that was an insane fight. Honestly, both games were down to the wire. 2 just really awesome teams here, and congratulations to JesusLBL and the Strawhats. Game number 1 between Shadow Wizard Money Gang, coached by ThunderMage, versus Diminishing Returns, coached by Alkor. And ThunderMage using his favorite unit, the Renan, along with Sodali, getting Immortal Dogma onto Renan. So he now has Hate and Re-Raise online. It looks like from the other side, Alkor's running a Barret, Queen Mashri, and Rairu composition. So a couple of those gunner units, along with Queen Mashri. We'll have to see how this goes. Was that Jealous Wrath coming up from Surges? I'm pretty sure that is what I just saw. But it looks like the Elia team are getting Berserk nullified. So expecting something like this, that is going to take care of it from the other side. Aim Fire coming out from the Rairu. Will he be able to catch damage? He's going to walk forward. And this will be interesting here. He might get picked off right out of the start. I think Sodali can reach here, but Magic Reflex comes out from the Rairu, excuse me. Rush Not Thy Fate misses, so he's going to catch an attack from Renan. Thunderbolt coming out. So I don't think Renan is able to get any sort of second buff off here, as Grace of Eternal Friendship, the Black Rose Helena TMR comes out from Queen Mashri. But ThunderMage is still in a 3v2 advantage, as Rairu was not able to do any damage here. Steelskin Plus coming out from the Barret, getting that Courage up. And here comes Sodali. Can he find a limit break onto anybody or find an AoE onto anybody? We'll have to find out. Raegen is going to go Sky-Splitting Thunderstrike, removing the Courage from Barret. That is very, very big for Shadow Wizard Money Gang. But here comes Queen Mashri. This should deal a decent amount of damage onto the Raegen. Unfortunately, does have the elemental disadvantage to the Sodali, though, as Leaping Assault from Surges lands the slow. So even though the Berserk is nullified, the slow lands. He dies, but he might have done his job enough already. Point Blank, though, does so much damage. It actually kills the Raegen. This bear kind of popping off, but Counter Cure lands for Sodali. Oh my gosh, this could be huge. Looking at that slow, though, Queen Mashri is nowhere to be found in that turn order. Here comes Crystalline Reckoning, so the Charm is going to land on Queen Mashri, but will she even ever get to act? The Charm actually doesn't matter, as she's going to drop. She's going to get some CT up from her re-raise, though, and this will help with the slow, but it's not quite enough. Raegen is still going to go first, that slow being absolutely huge. And oh my gosh, the game 1 victory for ThunderMage and Shadow Wizard Money Gang. I will say, if that slow did not land, I think Alkor might have won that, because that CT up got Queen Mashri up near the turn order. If she was not slowed, she would have acted much sooner, probably before Raegen ever gets to go. And I think Alkor's team wins that game. But that was a great first game to this series. Let's check out the next one. Game number 2 here, and it looks like ThunderMage is not fearing that Queen Mashri, bringing a couple of lightning element units along with Valade in the back. So this is Raegen, Queen, and Valade versus, it looks like, the same composition coming up from Alkor. Is there any changes from this Ryryu, though, as he was basically picked off right out of the gate last time? Looks like the same turn rotation coming out from Alkor's units, as Queen is going to go for the Maruka Kaja buff. This is giving AoE attack resist up on the entire party. Also gives her some attack and magic. And from the other times we've seen Queen coming out from ThunderMage, she has been a kind of hybrid type unit. I know she can be built that way for both attack and magic. You don't see it every time, but we have seen him utilize both the attack and magic stat. I think that was absolute cover coming out from Ryryu, but if this is a barrier break from Raegen, it's not going to matter. I'm not sure if the barrier break can reach that far. We'll have to find out. Barb Belizra going to land onto both units here. Queen Mashri going to channel what should be her re-raise, I believe. And Magic Reflex again from the Ryryu. So just like last time, reflexes it. Chaotic Discharge is not going to do anything. And here comes the Barret with the Courage, closing the gap here. Can Queen find damage? No, she cannot. She actually goes for Jealous Wrath. So this Vega TMR still coming out from ThunderMage, but the answer still coming out from the other side is Armbuster comes up from Ryryu. The Disable does not land on Raegen, though. Spirit of Horn, so now Queen Mashri needs to be killed twice, and Raegen is going to go for Thunderbolt, but that is soaked up because of that 100% barrier coming out from Ryryu here. So Raegen not able to get in range of his barrier attack, and he is soaking up with that Magic Reflex and the barrier. Soak 2 hits from Raegen. That could be pretty major here. Arm Shot comes out from Barret. Another Disable not landing. Not sure if Raegen has innate Disable res or if ThunderMage is just bringing the Trust Stones for it or something. But here comes Fry coming out from the Queen. Actually, Frey is probably how it's pronounced, but that is a magic attack as Ball Lightning Plus hits multiple units. This is still looking decent for ThunderMage here, but what is Valade going to go for? He's going to go for a Curata. So now can Queen Mashri one-shot Raegen is my question. She's going to channel a spell. Queen is actually going to go first before it even goes off. Here comes the Fray again from Queen. This should proc the Courage coming out from Barret. But how much damage does this do? Glimmer of Conviction actually does not hit Queen, and Raegen soaks that incredibly well. Focus Shot Plus, though, does 59-19. So Raegen is going to drop, and Queen is now in a 1v2. And Queen Mashri says, hey, I am the true Queen, regardless of what your name says. That is 8k damage onto her. And unless she pulls off something absolutely nuts, I think this is over. Charge Johanna does a good amount of damage, kills the Barret, but Queen has physical reflex, not magic reflex, so she has to somehow lap multiple times here. Frey will pick up the kill, but this re-raise I think is just going to be enough, and I don't think she has any way to get out of this unless the cast time is a super long time. She's not even going to worry about it. She's going to standard attack her, and that is a game 2 victory for Alkor in the Diminishing Returns. Alright guys, just like in Game 1 how the slow was huge for Surges, I think in Game 2 the Magic Reflex was huge for Alkor on the other side here. As here comes ThunderMage bringing the exact same comp he brought last time, so he thinks the comp can work, maybe just thinks he got a little unlucky with some of these things. So Ice Vitalization comes out from the Valade. The channeled spell from Raegen should be his own barrier here, I believe, as Maruka Kaja is going to land AoE resist on the entire party. Queen Mashri going to go with Good Fortune, so Shell and Crit Evade, I believe this is an adjustment. I don't think this came came out last time. This is more the Merrier's TMR, a very nice tech when you're going up against magic units. She might have used this last time. I'm actually not 100% sure because I know she went re-raise on turn 2. So if she did do this and I missed that, that's my fault. But this is a really good tech against a couple of magic units. So that barrier is now online for the Renan. Barb Blizzard comes out on the party. Agility, attack, magic, all that good stuff. And here comes the King Bradley TMR coming out from Renan. So that is an adjustment. We did not see a hasted up Renan last time as zombie TMR from the Queen. So now she is going to have to die twice. So she said, hey, I saw your re-raise and I will do it right back to you. Do you have an answer? Here comes the Steel Skin from the Barret. So has the Courage online. But there is Courage removal in Renan's kit. Will he end up going for it? We'll have to see. Here's that re-raise from Queen Mashri. And Renan should be in the range to deal damage this time. Here comes the Thunderbolt, 4900, lowering that magic attack resistance as well. And here comes the Dispel from Valade, so removing all buffs. Not entirely sure what all he had there, but he had some stuff for sure. As Frey is going to proc the Courage from Barret, he is already down to 1 hit. Can Renan find a multiple unit attack? This is actually Sky Splitting Thunderstrike. Went for the Ryryu on the other side to get the barrier. I am very curious about that. Is this Bowtie Ryryu on the other side? So he had 3 hate where Barret only had like 1 or 2 at that moment. That might have been what just happened there. I actually didn't catch that, but that is probably what happened, and actually very smart from Alkor. As Meteor Plus comes out from Queen Mashri, that is going to proc the re-raise on Queen. Can Valade get a heal off in time before she is chained down? It looks like he is going to be able to, as Renan is going to act next, as this Curata should heal her most of the way up. 4900, not a terrible heal. Bolt Lightning Plus, though, is going to land only on the Ryryu. It is going to kill him. And here comes Barret, though, as Royal Reprehension... No, I'm sorry, it's actually Queen first. Royal Reprehension did so much damage on the counter. That did like 6k. Barret is going to drop, though, and the stun lands from Queen. This physical strike attack has a chance to stun units, and that is looking like it could be pretty major here for ThunderMage. Renan is going to follow this up, going with the Thunderbolt, 4900, again dropping that magic attack resistance. Can she find a massive AoE on the entire party? She's going to go for Glimmer of Conviction, but that goes for Valade and Queen instead of Renan, and somehow Queen lives that hit. That is insane. What is her AoE resistance at? Frey lands the kill for the first time as she is going to come back with a re-raise. Does Queen Mashri get to go first with this CT up? Yes, she does. Can she find a Limb Break or something like that onto both units? She's going for an AoE, Glimmer of Conviction, only 3700 onto the Renan, though, and this Queen put on a show here. Here comes the Renan with the Unavailable Pain. That is going to be enough to seal it. And against Queen Mashri, the Earth unit, the double Lightning comp actually wins out. And that is a Game 3 victory for Shadow Wizard Money Gang. 6 weeks over and done with, guys. This is how the Rundall division standings shake out. And you will notice that I put this over to the right side because we officially have a team who has clinched the playoffs. SurfTaco, coach of Raegen Against the Machine. I don't think there was ever any doubt that he wouldn't make the playoffs, but to do it after week 6, that is insanely impressive. 18 points, a clean 6-0-0 series record. He is guaranteed top 5 no matter what, but I know that he wants to hold on to that first place spot, so he's going to try and do his best to do that. ReadyPlayerWill of the Pandas in second place with that head-to-head over Coppola of Holy Divers. They are both sitting there with 15 points with a pretty decently comfortable lead on those first 3. And I've said before, having a top 3 spot is actually very important, as after the first 9 weeks, 4th and 5th play each other to basically have like a play-in round, which is part of the playoffs. So you basically have one less game that you have to win if you are a top 3 seed, so one less chance to get knocked out. So it is a big deal to be one of those top 3. JesusLBL of the Strawhats and Alkor of Diminishing returns, though. 4th down is where these teams seem to be shifting every single week, and it has continued to be true. JesusLBL with 10 points, Alkor the same. Going to be interesting. I know they play each other yet this season. I don't remember which week, but they still face each other. ThunderMage of Shadow Wizard Money Gang with a series win this week, being pretty big, as he is now only 1 point out of the playoffs as of right now. Catrah of Sandrock unfortunately found a loss this week, but again, still only 2 points out of the playoffs. Anything could happen, especially for Koryu of S.E.E.S and Daewn of Primordial Inquisition, who are at 7 and 6 points respectively. IceHeart of Stag Party unfortunately won't be in the playoffs, may be in the Toilet Bowl to try and compete for that, but regardless, has been some really fun matches, and she was so close to taking a win this week. So it's been a hell of a lot of fun watching this division. I'm excited to see how these last few weeks play out, especially with how many teams there are so tight for that 4th and 5th spot.
We'll have to see what happens. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.